welcome back, folks, to another edition of Into the Breach Handyman Tool Reviews. And Happy New Year, by the way. Yeah, 2022 is going to be a good year, at least in my opinion it is. So today, we're going to be looking at the DWS773. It's DeWalt's compact, single bevel, portable miter saw. And it's one of my favorites. I've had two of them for several years, about three or 4 years. We're going to get right into it. We're going to talk about what I really like about it, what I don't like about it, and why I think it's great value for money. So let's start with the saw itself, the basics. Let's get right into it. So it comes pre-assembled, with the exception of the two polymer handles on the side. I'm pretty sure it's just a couple of Allen key screws, so you have to fit them. The blade already comes fitted, and everything comes as you see it. The only thing I was a bit disappointed with is it didn't come with a dust extractor bag, so it can get quite messy, which we'll talk about a bit later. But basically, it comes as you see it. First thing you do is there's a little tab on the back next to the rear of the saw. You just pull that pin out. It's silver, and then there'll be a little knob on the top. You loosen up, and that frees up everything, so you can pull it forward and stuff. It all comes already pre-configured, so there's no real adjustments that you need to do, which is really nice. And it's got all the corresponding information about the product on the side, the CE, the serial number, product code, place of manufacture, all that good stuff. Starting with the basics is that if you're a DeWalt user, if you like DeWalt tools, if you own a lot of DeWalt stuff, this particular miter saw is going to seem really, really familiar because it's got all the same design features, all the same polymers and plastics and composites. I'm pretty sure the base is aluminium. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the base is. It is portable. It is light compared to some other saws, and it is quite compact. So if you need to take it from place to place, you're moving around, you do a lot of DIY, you're on a job site, you need something that's reliable, but yet easy to move around, not too cumbersome. It's a big feature for it. Okay, adjustments. So at the back, you've got a quick release handle that allows you to adjust the bevel angle. And again, it's a single bevel miter saw, so it only goes one way. But the really cool thing is the guard in the back is fixed. So on some other miter saws that I've owned, the back guide, or I guess backstop, if you will, is adjustable. This one isn't. It already comes pre-beveled out, so you don't have to worry about it. If you were not thinking and you went to do a beveled cut, and then boom, you forgot to move the rail, then it's going to jam on the guard. In this case, it already comes preset and it's fixed in position. It can be removed. It can be removed and adjusted. It's just that as it comes factory fitted, you don't have to adjust it. It comes with all the tools you need to take out, change the blades. Okay, it also comes with these really Gucci clamps that fit in the side. So if you need to actually tighten some material down to keep it in place because you're on your own when you're cutting, it really is handy for that. To be fair, I don't use it that much. Most times when I'm on a job site, I put the saw as low to the ground as possible or on a stable workbench, and I just make sure that I've got a hold of the material in a safe manner, and I rarely use the clamps. Sometimes I do, but very rarely. Another thing is this particular workbench. I've made the end of my workbench. I've built it up so that the end of the workbench has a little rest, and when I lay a timber across, if I put this miter saw across the length of this bench anywhere, I can rest that on it and rest a piece of timber on it, and then rest it across this for longer pieces, 2, 3, 4 meters long, and when it's resting on that end of the workbench, it's perfectly level with this miter saw. I did that deliberately when I built the workbench, so it's just a little bit of a handyman type tip there. So 45-degree angle in each direction. So you just dial this little knob or button back, and there's a little spot there for your thumb. Just lift it, and you just move it around, and it's just that easy. And if you just lift, but it'll slide, and see if you're moving it, you lift it up all the way. It'll move the complete 45 degrees in each direction. If you lift it out of position where it was, and then it slides and locks into position. So you lift it up once to take it out of the angle that it's at, and then you move it in either direction, but release that so it's lowered, and it will just move along the guide until it gets to the next suitable degree. If you want something more specific, there are markings along for each degree before you get 45 to 45. And if you're measuring a bit of timber and you have made your mark on it, you can pretty much get any angle you want within 45 degrees of each direction. So that's a really handy feature. Yep, this lever just pulls out, and then you release it. I've got it quite tight because I don't often do bevel cuts, and it just goes down to whatever degree you want. Again, all the way up from 0 to 45. And to be fair, with single bevel miter saws, all you do is just flip your timber around, flip whatever you're cutting around, so you don't actually have to have a double bevel. Or maybe a double bevel is a bit overrated. Yeah, I love everything about it. The one thing that's unique is, yes, it is light and yes, it is portable, but it isn't by no means what I would classify as a light piece of equipment. It is heavy. It is something that, yes, you could fold it up, package it up, grab the handles, and carry it up a set of ladders. And yes, it is relatively easy to move around compared to some older versions and other cheaper miter saws, but there's nothing cheap about it. It feels quality all the way through. One of the things that I like about it, because of the fact that it adds to the weight, I mean it subtracts away from weight rather, is that they put some pretty not so great polymer here around the blade, and it's even got a plastic guard. I know why they did it, because of the fact that it's about cutting the weight down, so it is extremely portable. I don't like it at all. I'm not a big fan of that. I think it detracts away from it. I'd rather see, this plastic is fine. I would rather see this polymer guard be aluminium or even a light steel, something, yeah, even a powder coated steel, something. I don't like the fact that that's plastic. I'm not a big fan of that. The saw, cutting, compared to some other miter saws, it doesn't have a laser guide, okay? I quite like the fact it doesn't have a laser guide, but you can buy, I would say, equally as good miter saws that maybe do have a laser guide. I don't mind the fact it doesn't have one. It doesn't bother me at all. And one of the other features about this saw that is different from some other saws is the 3 trigger cutting system. So you have to depress this handle, then you have to press this button, and then you have to pull the trigger to get the saw to actuate. If I pull that trigger, nothing happens. If you pull on that all day long, the saw will not cut. You have to depress the handle, press the button, pull the trigger to get the saw to cut. I don't like it, but I do like it, because the thing is that it really mitigates the chances of you cutting yourself, okay? It really takes that down to non-existent. And in all reality, safety is paramount. I didn't like the fact it didn't come with a dust extractor bag. I thought that would have been a pretty easy throw-in for DeWalt. You know, just put a dust bag in the box with the saw. What's the big deal? Tip for anyone out there, that because this saw is really dusty. I mean, it just throws sawdust everywhere. Like all miter saws do, to be fair. One tip that I would suggest for those of you that are doing an extreme amount of cutting is you can buy hoovers, vacuums, shop vacs, whatever you want to call them, that will plug into an outlet, and they also have an outlet on the vacuum itself. And what you do is you plug your miter saw power outlet into the outlet on the hoover, and what happens is that when you go to cut something, this draws power from the hoover, and the hoover turns on automatically. And you just connect the hose to the back here, and boom, it just takes away an extortion amount of dust that you don't have to worry about. And that's an awesome feature. It's just a tip. It's got nothing to do with the DeWalt saw itself. It's just a tip because of the fact that these things just make a really big mess. Yeah, I mean, it is an awesome, I mean, it is such awesome quality, and it cuts really well. Yeah, there's not much I don't like about it. There's a lot. I would never hesitate to buy one. I bought this one. They retail in the United Kingdom for about £200, and I bought this one when it was on sale, and I loved it so much I waited until they put them on sale again, and I bought another one. They are just awesome, and they just everything. They're just cut like butter. There's absolutely, and the guide is really nice. All come pre-factory set. I've never had an issue with a cut. It's just absolutely freaking beautiful. And the cuts are really clean. I mean, let's be realistic. They're not going to throw the most premium cutting blade on here, but for an out-of-the-box miter saw at that price point, I mean, you just can't beat it. And it's just really, really, really stable. It's wobbling a bit there because, to be fair, I probably haven't adjusted the bottom rubber stoppers on it, but it doesn't matter. And my bench isn't it is perfectly level lengthwise, but there is a pitch to it from front to back. So that's probably why that's doing that. But yeah, the cut, I mean, it just cuts amazingly. And you get quite a long reach. Yeah, the base of it's really nice. And again, three stage trigger distance. So if I try to pull that, nothing's happening. The press, button. I mean, just beautiful cuts. I mean, I mean, that is so smooth. You barely need to sand that. You need to bevel off a bit of the other cut, but it's just lovely. I mean, if you were ever looking for a miter saw, and budget is a factor, wait till they're on sale. But to be honest, I just think it's extremely good value for money, and I think you can't go wrong. So if you had any reservations, if you were looking at them and you weren't sure, if you had a little hesitation over spending that little extra money from that other brand, yeah, the DeWalt DWS773, the compact portable single bevel miter saw. It's money in the bank. It's a beautiful bit of kit, and I think you won't be disappointed. So yeah, don't hesitate. Get out and check them out. I don't know what they retail for in North America, but DeWalt's international. I've reviewed other tools before, and I've got some comments about the fact that people had no trouble finding it in various countries. Denmark, Thailand. Yeah, no, the DeWalt DWS773. If you're looking at a miter saw and you had any reservations, don't. It's a great bit of kit. Thanks for watching.